If I were the Cowboys, I might make him play under a franchise tag. I don't know that I would make the kind of commitment that he might be looking for. It's still not clear what exactly he's looking for, dollar amount, years, all those kind of things. But that's not popular opinion. Popular opinion is, and by the way, I believe Dak is a franchise quarterback, and he might be on his way to being a great quarterback, but I don't think he's there yet. But popular opinion is you get a franchise quarterback, you hold on to him for, hell or high water, you make sure you hold on to him for dear life. So now we're at this stage in the talks or in his contract situation, and he's still not signed long term. So Dallas finds their franchise quarterback in the 4th round, has him on the cheapest, most team-friendly franchise quarterback contract in the NFL for several years, and then when it's time to get the deal done, can't get it done? Can't get it done, really? This from Jerry Jones, who's on the record having said, all of my best deals that I've made in my life, I've overpaid. Or in other words, quote unquote overpaid. At the time, it looked like he was out ahead of the market, right? But the point is, in the long run, the point he's really making is it was smart to do. That's why it was his best deal. In retrospect, he didn't overpay. So in terms of public perception, if the Cowboys can't figure out how to sign their franchise quarterback, as the Eagles did, as the Rams did, by the way, I don't think that was necessarily a great idea at those numbers. Nevertheless, they did it, and the Cowboys haven't. The Cowboys look worse than the quarterback.
Well, you can sit up there and say it looks worse, but when you consider the rights that the Dallas Cowboys have, they can franchise tag him now. They could do it again next year. Basically, they have his rights for at least a couple of years, to say the least. And because of that, that's why we can say they look bad from a PR perspective. But to me, Dak doesn't look great in all of this right now because you got $31.4 million that you're going to play under this year. He's probably worth 35. For some reason, and I've said this on many, many occasions with all the exceptional insiders that are associated with the NFL across the football spectrum, no matter which network you pick apart, I cannot believe that it's taken us so long to find out the particulars of exactly what he's asking for. But we've been told that ultimately it's come down to the fact that the Dallas Cowboys want Dak Prescott for 5 years. He only wants to commit to 4. And so because of that, considering the circumstances, I don't know if he looks better than the Dallas Cowboys. I'm not going to say either one of them look bad or either one of them looks great. I don't like the way the Dallas Cowboys look at it at all from a PR perspective. I think you take care of your quarterback first. So in that regard, the fact that Jalen Smith has gotten his contract, Ezekiel Elliott has got his contract, Amari Cooper has gotten his contract, et cetera, I'm appalled that they haven't taken care of Dak Prescott yet. But the flip side is you're Dak Prescott. You did miss the playoffs 2 times in the last 4 years. Your team didn't make the playoffs last year. And the reality is that when you're getting over $30 million, especially if you can get the 35 to 37 million that you are in pursuit of, and the only issue is 5 years as opposed to 4 years, I don't know how great we can say Dak Prescott looks in that equation.
I'm with you, Stephen A. I have a problem with the whole situation, starting from the beginning. And 2 parts. Both of you guys are exactly right, because however you want to look at it, if you are on Dak's side, you say Dallas looks bad. I'm going to go there, though, Max, because I think you have a point. I think when Dallas came out and said that Dak Prescott was their future and their franchise, and based on everything that we've known about football since covering this sport and talking about it, when teams come out and make those type of statements, they get a deal done with the guy. So Dallas, to me, looks bad. And it also looks bad that you went and got Andy Dalton. Now, we can sit here and say, well, it was a great move to have that backup. It was all of this and all of that. What it was a leverage play. That's exactly what it was. Because to me, the signing of Andy Dalton really meant that you didn't think this long-term deal would come for Dak Prescott. And I've sat on television and heard everybody talk about it's the media and Jerry Jones wants to play this thing out and string it out. But now we finally get into the nuts and bolts. First of all, it's been reported by Todd Archer that is no talks planned or going on right now. Dak is sitting here with a $31 million franchise tag. The next year it'll be 38. So what is Dallas going to do? They going to franchise tag him again, or are they going to try to figure out a long-term deal? Because what changes? What changes between, if this is the case, what changes between Dak wanting a 4 or a 5-year deal? If you give him a 4-year deal next year, it was technically 5. So that flips over to being on Dallas' side. Why not sign a long term? They going to say, look at Patrick Mahomes. He signed a 10-year deal. Why won't you sign a 5? But Dallas put themselves in this position. That's why they look bad. Now, if Andy Dalton is the plan to be your franchise guy at half of what you decided or planned on paying Dak, maybe that's the move you want to make. But when you came out and made Dak Prescott your franchise guy and said all of these things about we'll get a deal done, and I always get these deals done, now we're looking at July 15th, tomorrow, and a deal ain't done with no talks being planned. Dallas looks bad in this situation, Stephen A.
Yeah, I will say this.
Well, see,
Mahomes.
Go ahead, Max.
If you really drill down and look at the Mahomes contract, you can argue that, in fact, Dak's hand is a little forced now because Mahomes gave up all those years, and the guarantee wasn't like earth-shattering, right? He was very team-friendly. So people can turn to Dak and look and say, Dak, what's your problem? Mahomes got his deal done. You ain't Patrick Mahomes. You didn't just win the Super Bowl. You haven't won any MVPs. You know, you're not on Mahomes' level. You're never going to be on Mahomes' level, and you could wind up in the Hall of Fame, never be on Mahomes' level. Sign the deal. And while I get that, it's still actually, to me, the Cowboys who wind up looking bad there, guys, because, hey, Kansas City got a deal done with Mahomes, who wasn't even up. Dallas, you can't get a deal done with your guy? And you've had all this time. Guys, if Dallas wasn't trying to milk every last drop from Dak, they could have gotten a deal done.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.